Welcome, my dear students, to this English class with me. This is your tutor, Atinyo Sekose, and today we are going to again continue with the grammar worksheet 2. So you can turn to that page. We are going to discuss the topic that is order of adjectives and prefix and suffix as well. So page 70. Now, if we think about adjectives, we have already discussed a little bit about what is the function of an adjective. That is, it functions as describing a noun. A noun can be an object, a thing. It can even be an abstract thing. Take the example of education, abstract. You cannot literally touch it, and you cannot really see, oh, there is education. You cannot say that, but those are also words, a noun that, and if you are going to describe education, or maybe your impression is that it is important. And so, see, the word important is describing education. Now, there are a lot of different kinds of words that you can use to describe or to qualify a noun, a thing, or even an object. So we have lots, that is the function of an adjective, and we have lots of adjectives to describe things. Now that's when the tricky part arises. We are going to take a look at this topic from the point of view of writing skills. So what happened, even though we know the functions of an adjective, what happened in the end is that if we are asked to describe something, there are lots of words that may come to your mind. Take the example of this whiteboard. If I asked you right now to describe this whiteboard, some of you may say that it is white in color, that the edges are metallic, that it is new, old, it is dirty. For some of you, you may even say that. So see, those are a lot of words that you may find with adjectives. But what happens when you want to write it, you get confused. Should I write dirty first, or should I write white first? Or should I say it is partly metallic and wooden as well? Now, all these kind of confusion may arise. So that is when we need to understand the order or the sequence of adjectives. And this would come in really handy if you can remember the order of adjectives, because when you are asked to write about poster writing, there are lots of descriptions or important informations that you can write on your notice or your poster. But you may be getting confused, which one should I write first? So that's what happens. So you can also take this step, the order of adjectives, and write your work in sequence. So this is going to be very helpful for your writing skills. Now the first one, interestingly, the first adjectives that you are supposed to start with is opinion. So when we see an object or a person, the first impression that comes to our mind is if it is somebody is wearing a blue shirt, you may say blue shirt fellow, if you don't know the name, or maybe you see, maybe you find somebody very brilliant in your class. So brilliant is the impression, the opinion that you have about that fellow student of yours. So your opinion comes first. So, and then the rest of the adjectives would come later on. So keep that in mind. The first thing is opinion. So opinion, like it can even be ugly, beautiful, and so on. In order to save time, I would not be giving all that examples. You can refer your text there. Then the second thing you have here is, if you can look into your text, what do you have here? Opinion, then size, whether it is small. In fact, you have tiny, small, little. You can even go with smallest. I have seen the tiniest creature today, See, the tiniest creature. So that can also be part of adjectives, and it falls under size here. Then comes age. Age in the sense 1947, let's say, or 12 years old, and so on. All these things comes under age. Now the next one, shape. Hold on. Shape, whether it is round, flat, square, triangle, rectangle, and so on. So that will come under shape. Then comes color. Whether it is red, pink, yellow, in fact, you can even go with, take the example of yellowish, somber, and so on. Dark color, you can also go with that. Then, hold on. Then comes origin, where it is made. You have that there in your text examples like French, you have Italian, Indian made. You know, you can also say oil painting. What kind of French oil painting? See, the word French comes first in that case. So that's the origin here, where it is made. Then material. Okay, I'll put it here. What the object is made up of, supposing it is made up of wood, you can say wooden, iron bars, material. You can even say nylon, chiffon, cotton, paper, or recycled paper. So that comes under material here. Then the last one, interestingly, the last one is purpose. And under purpose, we tend to get confused here because we have a verb along with a noun. So take the example of sleeping bag. Sleeping bag. So if we look at this word alone, we feel that this is a verb and that it has nothing to do with an adjectives. But take a look at it. If we use it together in this manner, sleeping bag, it is describing the bag and the purpose. So it is functioning. Remember, the function of adjective is to describe. So it is functioning as a describing word. So in this case, this also becomes an adjectives, in fact. And now we use these kind of adjectives. Why? In order to state its purpose. What is the bag used for? You know, take the example of the desk that you are using right now. Maybe you are using a computer desk. So that is a different function, different purpose. Maybe some of you are even using the breakfast table as a desk. So that is again different. So let's take a look at another example. Supposing you are having a desk in your at home, the desk that you are using right now, it may be a desk or computer desk. So that is the purpose for placing computer. Maybe you are using your breakfast table as a desk. So see, that is again a different purpose. Take the example of writing desk. Maybe you have a particular desk to write things. So writing, that is the verb there, no doubt. But if you use it together, writing desk, then it becomes a part of the adjectives describing the desk, what kind of a purpose it is. So these are the order of adjectives. I'm going to repeat. Opinion, it comes first, then size, age, shape, color, origin, material, and purpose. Now we are going to try another exercise here. So supposing, let's just take the example of a bird here. Maybe you have spotted a bird outside your house or out of your window. You spotted a small bird, let's say. So small, and you notice that the feather is green in color. And you also noticed that it is the tiniest bird that you have ever seen. So let's just put tiniest. This is a new bird that you have spotted. So let's take the word new and so on. So these are a lot of words, adjectives that you may find with you can use to describe that bird. Now, since this is small, is to do with size, and green to do with color, tiniest is the opinion here, and new, we can also put this under age or even opinion here. Now, this may confuse you a little bit, but This is when the exception to the rule happens here. What is the exception to the rule? There is no hard and fast rule. It depends on the speaker or the writer which one you want to put emphasis on. Supposing that this is a picture, let's just say, take the example of a picture of a bird, and it is painted by a French artist. And let's say that it is painted on canvas. So there you have the material here. So see, all these kind of words that you can use to describe it, what happens is that you may be confused whether to start with small or whether to start with tiniest bird painted on a canvas and so on. So that is the order of sequence. But if you feel that this is the first impression, tiniest, then you can go with that. If you feel that it is new, you can go with that. So that is how it can be ordered in this manner. Remember, when it comes to age, such as in 1947, we have used another example in that manner. So in 1947, such and such, so see, the age comes first because you want to put emphasis on that here. A 12-year-old girl, so see, you want to put the age emphasis there. So it depends, like I said, it depends on the information that you want to highlight first in your sentence, or for that matter, in the order of adjectives. Now, the next sub-point that we are going to discuss is prefix and suffix. So let's unpack this topic. I have mentioned, if you have noticed, subtopic. So the word itself, topic, and even the word unpacked, I would like you to take a look at these words carefully. We have learned in the previous class that pre means before, so the opposite of prefix is suffix. So here, prefix, let's say this is before and suffix here is after. So if you take a look at the word here, we find that something must be in between here, the actual word. So the actual word with unpack here is pack. It makes sense. And yet if you add this prefix, why? Because before the word pre, if you add this prefix, it becomes a new word. The meaning changes. So that is the function of a prefix, or for that matter, a suffix. And subtopic, sub is the prefix. So if you think about it, I'm sure this is not a new topic for you. I'm sure you have a lot of words that you use that has prefix and suffix to it. Now, let's take a look at this unpack here. And if I add ing, or for that matter, if I add ed, again, these are the past participle, and these are, we can also say that it is suffix because it is adding more meaning to the word. So unpack, this one is the prefix, and unpacking or unpacked, so that is the suffix here. So that's what we have here. And if you think about it, I am sure you know a lot about prefix and suffix. There you have a lot of interesting exercises there, such as unscramble the words, if you would like to think about it. Take the example of the word extra. Now unlike this un that makes sense only when it is added to a new word, even the word extra, if you use it with another word such as extra terrestrial. So in that unscramble, you would find this, extraterrestrial. So what does it mean? It also means aliens. So it means the same thing, but the spelling changes, so it gives you a lot of synonyms and antonyms as well. Unpacked, antonyms of packed. So that's what we have here. And take a look at this example again. It means the same thing, and yet you can use it in different ways, words that you can use it in different ways. So if you think about it, if you have a good idea about prefix and suffix, it will give you a whole lot, a different range of vocabularies. So that is also going to help you with your speaking and of course with expressing yourself even through writing. So that is the benefit of knowing prefix and suffix. Now we are also going to take a look at suffix or this kind of intricacies of English language. You may find that sometimes it is very complex, sometimes English language is very funny. So that is also something that R.K. Narayan has also talked about in the lesson Toasted English. So some of you might be wondering, what is this lesson all about? So the lesson is all about language, especially to do with English. And now I have also given a little bit about preview of the lesson, that is Toasted English. So when I say preview, even again the word pre here is a prefix. Pre here is, it means before, and it is a prefix here. So I have given you a little preview of what the lesson Toasted English is all about, and like I said, it is going to talk about the kind of complexities, or we can also say the funny thing about the language, English language, how it changes meaning when we add when we change a letter or when we add a syllable, you know, all these kind of funny things that you would find in the lesson. Take the example, another example here of the word impossible. Just let's take a look at the word impossible here. One can simply say impossible, and yet if somebody else chooses to say not possible, it still means the same thing, except that it is used in different ways, such as not possible into 2 words and impossible into 1 word. So it either shortens it, changes meaning, or you can also say that it adds more meaning to the word. So that is the function of prefix and suffix. And that's what we have unpacked just now. What I would suggest is that before you start working on your exercises, you just make a list of different kinds of English words that comes to your mind, and think about the actual word and the kind of added syllable or extra word that is being added to the actual word to make a new meaning. So when you sit down and list it out, you would find plenty. Take the example of uniform. That itself is a prefix. Uni means single, a single form. So that is what we have here. Uniform, unicorn, or take the example of quarterfinal, take the example of semi-final, so quarter, semi, all those things are prefix. If you want to take a look at the suffix, the other day in your previous class as well, you have discussed about ly that is added to the verb to make it into an adverb, another form of adverbs, you know. So here, ly is also a suffix. And that's what you will find here. Interesting things about the language. Sometimes the meaning might change completely. Sometimes it only adds more meaning. Sometimes it shortens it. It makes it more precise, like I said, the word impossible and not possible. And what does it do? It enhances your vocabularies. You may want to express yourself in different ways. This is not just to show off how much you have about good vocabularies, but it is also very useful when it comes to writing. You don't want to repeat yourself so much with the same word over and over again. So in that kind of situation, it becomes very handy having knowledge about prefix and suffix. And on that note, we would be winding up today's class. Thank you all very much for joining me.